Good morning, and welcome to my morning. Bear with me if the camera's a little shaky. It is 35 degrees this morning, and you can feel it in everything you do. I woke up this morning and my hip was just not having it. Got out of bed and snap, crackle, pop. But hey, that's what happens as you get older. Today's video was brought to you by Noob the Cat. Noob came to me, a month or so ago and had a great idea. He comes up to me and he says, "Fish, you did this video on these people who are trying to be profound, people who are trying to make themselves appear like they're just so great. But, they're not really doing anything. I mean, they're there and they're great and that's all wonderful. But what about the other side of that? What about the people who think that everything is so profound and it's so deep, bro?" Well, I thought that was a great idea. That was an idea that I wish I would have come up with. Unfortunately, I didn't. And so, what I've decided to do is to go ahead and use Noob's idea for this video. So, go ahead and thank Noob for this. Now, yes, this video is going to be completely unedited. I don't have great editing software right now, and right now trying to export anything out of Premiere is, it's like pulling hen's teeth. Excuse me. And so you will get things like that. You will get all of my burps. You'll get all of my Shatner-esque pauses. You will get everything. Now, with the people who think that everything is deep, or the people who claim that everything is deep, why? Why do they do this? I don't think it's because they actually think it's deep. I think it's because they're looking at something and they're thinking, "Oh wow, I've never thought of it in that way before, therefore deep." And sure, some things are deep, if you will. Some things are profound. Some things boggle the mind. Some things you hear for the very first time and you think, "Wait, what? This makes no sense. I don't understand this. How does this make any sense whatsoever?" You'll have to forgive me. You probably can't hear me. The recycling people just showed up. And there they go. Say bye. Bye-bye. And then they'll stop at every single house, all the way through the block. But that's okay. We're saving the planet or something. I forget what the whole recycling thing was for anymore. Oh, look, there's some smoke over there. I wonder what that is. Let's zoom in on it. I don't know what that is. But anyway, I digress. Like I said, unedited, you get everything. The people who are running around saying, "Oh wow, that's so deep," are probably not very deep themselves. If anything, they're probably kind of dense. Now, I'm not saying this to hurt anyone's feelings or to step on anyone's toes, and this video isn't directed at anyone in particular. I know that pause, like I said, Shatner-esque pauses. But this video, it's not directed towards anyone. So if you think this video is about you directly, you're wrong. If you think it's about you indirectly, well, examine yourself. Maybe you're right. But I digress. The example that's been popping up in my head has been minute rice. There was a meme quite a while back. There's this seaman who had, I guess, gotten out of the Navy or was going into the Navy or had something, some kind of, here's my profile with the Navy. And in special skills, this man had listed that he could cook minute rice in 58 seconds. And of course, you're going to have these bimbos running around. "Oh no, you don't get it. Cooking minute rice in 58 seconds? You don't get what that means. That's like if we would just slow down, or if we would just, do things better, we could make life all the hard things in life just take so much less time. And it's like, okay, I'm not sure if you're telling me to cheese myself or if you're telling me to, to just slow down. Like, that could go a lot of ways, hon. And what I think people don't get with that either is it's like, okay, minute rise, yeah, sure. I can kind of see, it's like, yeah, if we would just slow down and do things right and take a little less time. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that applies to work. And that applies to the doing the nasty. That applies to literally everything. If you would just slow down, look at what you're looking at, and think about it, holy crap, it becomes easier. Who'da thunk? So is it really deep? I mean, maybe if you've never thought of that before, maybe if you're like 5 and you have not ever thought about slowing down before, and all you've been caring about is how fast your shoes can make you. Yeah, sure. In that case, I could see it being deep. But there are some things that we as adults need to stop and just look at. Just seriously, just look at it. For example, putting together a futon. It's not easy. I've had to do it multiple times, and it never is easy. Why is it never easy? One, because for the most part, it's a job that is much easier with 2 people. But 2, almost always, that second person will try to get in a rush, will start freaking out, will start this whole thing of, oh no, what are we ever gonna do? It's so... there's so many problems here, and we have to fix them all right now. And I mean, sure, maybe, problems do need to be solved, problems do need to be fixed, but do they need to be done right this exact instant? Maybe some of them do. I mean, if you are dealing with an arterial bleed, sure, yes, that needs to be dealt with right this second, because if it's not, you will die. But, oh no, we didn't buy a gift for the birthday party next week. No, you don't have to solve that right now. Solve it later. I mean, solve it, tomorrow. You've got a whole week to do it. Now, of course, with that, I digress. People are going to say that, oh no, you get so off track. Yes, I do. As I said, you're getting the full brunt of it. Brunt? You're getting the full doobie. That's what you're getting. Getting a full dab. Now, people who are running around saying, that's so deep, they probably never thought about it. And if they've never thought about it, these are probably the people whose brains have been addled, either by alcohol or by the marijuanas, the devil's cabbage. And now, of course, people are going to say, but Fish, don't you drink? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, I do. And I drink legally, but I also drink responsibly. I'm not out here making moonshine in my bathtub and running it through, who knows what as a filter, and then, just downing it. And I'm not out here drinking gallons of liquor a day. There are people, of course, who are running around and who are drinking gallons of liquor a day. I would tell you the name of this particular celebrity, but I don't remember exactly who it was. And so, of course, to protect myself from libel, slander, blah, 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 I'm not going to mention the guy's name. But dude had just come out of rehab and had mentioned, yeah, I was drinking 2 gallons of vodka a day. 2 gallons of vodka. Most people struggle to drink a pint of water in a day. I mean, let alone a gallon. I mean, a gallon is what you should be drinking a day, but 2 gallons of vodka. How was this guy even alive? That's insane. I mean, your liver is pickled, your kidneys are, raisins, and your brain is probably a rotted walnut. I mean, that's insane. And if you are just drinking gallons of vodka a day, your brain's probably pickled. And you're probably going to look at things and think, well, man, I never thought about it that way. Now, I'm not saying this to pick on Southerners. I'm a Southerner myself. But Look at the people who are running around and, oh, why I never would think about that. I never thought about it that way. I just never thought about it. It just never crossed my mind. I don't know. Look at their behaviors. These are the guys who are like, especially in high school. Anyone who's from the South is going to know what I'm talking about. Anyone who's from any kind of rural town is going to know what I'm talking about. You have these football players, these other students, and they run around and they're the kind that are going to bring an entire thermos full of vodka to class and think, yeah, no one's gonna catch me because vodka ain't got no smell. Or no one's gonna catch me because moonshine ain't got no smell. Everclear ain't got no smell. Well, guess what? It does. You pop that sucker open, everyone knows what's in there. Even though you're thinking, oh, it ain't got no smell. No, I promise you, we can smell it. Those of us who aren't around it all the time, yeah, we can smell it. And of course you're thinking, well, didn't you just say that you drink? Yes, I drink grape soda quite a bit. But again, of course, I digress a little bit. There are people who are running around addling their brains, and then they're not thinking about anything. And, oh man, I never thought about it that way. That's incredible. I never thought about it. Why? Why did you never think about it? I'll tell you why. It's because your brain's addled. And with that, I do have a point to this. I'm not just ragging on people. I have a point to this. The people who are running around saying everything is so deep, those are probably the people whose brains are addled. They're pickled brains. Pickled people brains. That's what they are. Pickled people brains. And they're nasty. It's gross. There are these people who are running around, well, I would have never thought about doing it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with a person saying, oh, wow, I've been doing it this way for years and it never occurred to me to do it another way. But the people who are saying, oh my God, this is revolutionary. It's like, no, this is the standard way of doing it. What you are doing is the long way. For example, putting shingles on a roof. You line up all your shingles, and then you go back with your nail gun, click, 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 click. And of course, as you know, you start at the bottom and you go to the top. Instead of starting at the top, taking the next shingle and sliding it under the one, and then going down. No, you start at the bottom, get your shingles all lined up. You go to the top, you use trigonometry to measure out how many shingles you're going to need and how long the roof needs to be. And then, of course, there are people, well, I've been going from the top this whole time. I had never thought about it. That's a revolutionary idea. Is it really? Because the standard way of doing it is going from the bottom to the top. Now, like I said, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're just rambling. And yes, I am rambling, because I ramble. I'm a rambling man. Why? Because my brain is also pickled. I'll admit to that right now. My brain was born pickled. But with this, why are we saying things are deep? Why is something deep? Is it because you've never thought about it? Is it because it never occurred to you? Is it because it boggles your mind? Now, a lot of people today will say, well, you don't get it. It's deep because no one's ever thought about it. And it's deep because, it's so revolutionary. Well, why is it revolutionary? Why has it never been thought about? We have more access to information, both correct and incorrect, today than has ever been possible ever at any other time in history. There is more information readily available at your fingertips today than has ever been before in any other time of your life. And it is constantly progressing. Every minute that passes by, guess what? You have access to even more information. And of course that happens because things are happening every minute. Wow, who'd have thunk? But so if so much information is available to us, why don't we utilize it? Why are we looking at things and thinking, oh wow, that's so new, that's so revolutionary, I've never thought of this. Well, I mean, aside from perhaps it's never been available, but think about it. Everything else on the subject is available. I mean, let's say that I figured out how to grill meat using ice. Okay, every other technique regarding meat and ice, regarding meat and grills and meat and grill and ice, every other technique prior to the revolution of cooking meat with ice has been available to you for, I mean, relatively speaking, at least half your life. Seriously. And of course people are going to say, well, what about people like Aristotle? What about Socrates and Plato? Yeah, sure, maybe that's a little revolutionary. They didn't have access to near the information that we have access to. Sure, you could see that as being revolutionary. Sure, you could see that as being deep. But I want you to think about this as well. Why does the sun rise? Why does the sun rise? Of course, today we can look at it and we can say that the sun rises because of the rotation of the Earth. We revolve around the sun, and then we revolve about an axis. We revolve around and then about. And as the Earth revolves around that center point, that axis, as it rotates on that axis, it makes the sun appear to be rising. Yay! But now imagine this. Imagine that you are living in, 4500 BC, 4500 before the Common Era. Now, you're living there, you're in your little grass hut, and you look up, and oh my goodness, the sun came back. The sun went down and came back. And it's been doing this my whole life. Why does it do this? And so you start thinking, you start postulating, speculating, and you extrapolate. You extrapolate on incomplete data. And you determine that the reason that the sun goes down and comes back up is because the sun is on a giant ring. And the sun is spinning around that ring very quickly. And the Earth is in the center of that ring. And of course the sun goes up and goes around and comes back down. And the reason for the sun being on the ring in the first place is that there is a giant toddler, a giant celestial toddler that is pushing the ring around. But because we are so small and the toddler is so big, we can't see the toddler and we can't see the ring that the sun is on. And of course, even though the toddler is spinning that ring as fast as they can, the ring appears to be moving slow. And then of course you have the equinox, the summer equinox, and the summer and the fall, winter equinox. The winter equinox today is just a little bit longer. Well, that's when the sun comes to rest on the other side of the ring, and the toddler has to spin it again. And then of course the summer equinox, that's when the sun comes to rest on our side of the ring, and then the toddler has to spin it again. And that's why the sun goes up and down. Is that really deep? Perhaps. I mean, you just extrapolated a whole bunch of stuff. You very incomplete data, and just decided, yeah, this is how it happens. This is how it works. Maybe you could see that as being deep, if you will. Maybe there goes a chopper. Let's see, there he goes. Anyway, maybe you were looking at, what was that? Where was it? Yeah, you're extrapolating data out of nothing. Maybe that's deep. No one's ever thought of it before. But, looking on it now, of course, is it? Now we would say no. Now we would say that's dumb. I've explained certain things to certain people in ways that don't have anything to do with the ways that they're actually working. For example, routing and account numbers. I have people ask me, they come up and they say, Fish, my bank had to cancel my card because of, one reason or another, or the card doesn't work anymore, but it's still active. Will I still, can I still receive money into the account? And the answer to that, of course, is yes. Why? Your account number is like your house number. Your routing number is like the street you live on, and your card is like the key to get into the house. You will still receive packages to your house even though you've lost your key. And typically that makes it easier for people to understand that yes, you can still receive your direct deposit. Now, I have had some people tell me, oh wow, that's so deep. That's such a great explanation. I would have never thought of it like that. Is that deep? Maybe. But if it is deep, it's not mine. That is how, I had it explained to me. So, if something's really deep, is it something that's revolutionary? Is it something that's, never been thought of before? What makes something deep? And why do people think that everything is deep? My honest opinion on this is that it's people who have never taken the time to think about things. People who have probably never taken the time to open a book. People who have never stopped and slowed down, looked at something and said, okay, I see how this works now. It makes sense. Now, this is a very long video, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much for sitting and listening through all of my ranting, my raving. Now, because you've made it so far, I will let you in on a little trade secret. My dear friend Noob, the one who came up to me and said you should do this video, he lives just on the other side of this mountain. You come up the mountain, go around, end up here, then you got to go down the other side, and then you can make it over here, where that mountain and this little ridge over here line up. Right where that line is, Noob lives directly on the other side of that. Noob's opened up his very first local shop, and it's a very nice shop. Smells very nice. He sells lots of soaps, lots of it's basically rhino smegma soap. Oh look, here comes the I don't know what these people are doing. Oh, it's more recycling people, and they're gonna make a stop at every. Oh no, that's the trash, isn't it? That's something. But just watch, they're going to stop at like every single house. And there they go. Say bye. Now, back to Noob's store. My bad. As I said, you get it all. Noob has got some really nice rhino smegma soaps. They actually smell kind of nice. He's done a lot of work with that. Now, the reason that the soap is made out of rhino smegma is that he's already converting them to Judaism. Might as well go ahead and collect there as well. Noob has coffees over there, soaps, really nice jackets. I do recommend that you go ahead and go check it out if you're ever in the area. Go have a look. I may or may not attempt to review some of his merchandise at some point. It is top shelf quality. I do recommend you go get it. Lots of grape soda there as well. Noob got an alcoholic license, if you will. But with that, as I said, go check out Noob's store. Don't sit there and not think about things. Think about things. Slow down, look at them, and figure out what you're doing before you just start calling everything deep. Before you just start being a brainlet, a little brainlet moron, just like the rest of the pack. And with that, I am your captain. Goodbye and good luck.